Mic check, checking vibes.
What's the vibe like?
What's really Gucci? We're back at it, dude. We took a little hiatus.
We did. Took some time off. Had to, I think. It was time.
We got hit with it, which is hilarious considering the last podcast where we broke
Oh,
down
God.
the
How
recklessness.
reckless. I actually had a friend to listen to it when I let them know. Yeah, we tested positive for COVID after that weekend that you came out and we recorded that podcast about it. And told some friends and family and everybody that we were with, and some of them listened to it and just so geekable that it's like, well, yeah, it makes sense that you got COVID.
So we definitely went hard in the paint. We did some things that were reckless. The individual that actually probably got us COVID, there was multiple people that got COVID in our group, and the person that probably got us COVID actually has Native American ties, which I think is ironic and appropriate for the current state of America.
Oh yeah.
But the one thing I will say though, we did some things wrong. We went hard, no regrets, very fun weekend. But the positive is from everything I know, I did not pass it on to anybody. And I don't
Yeah,
think
as
you
soon
did.
as no, we recorded.
The buck stops with us.
That Tuesday after, as soon as I found out that we were around somebody who had it, I just locked it down. Or besides going to get tested, and I really haven't left the house in like a month almost.
Yeah, you're still positive potentially. Probably not, but
I should have it. Yeah. So, and that's been a really frustrating thing, has been getting results from the tests. Like I took a test almost 2 weeks ago and just got the results from it like 5 days ago. And or no, like more than 2 weeks ago, like the middle of, or like the end of June, I took one. And
crazy.
So that came back positive. So I took another one on Monday, and I should get the results. They say 2 to 4 days, but it's probably going to take. It's been 4 days now, and I still don't have the results. I've not felt any symptoms whatsoever.
That's my roommate. Thing.
Yeah, my roommate also tested positive, and he just tested negative a few days ago, so that's a good sign. He's negative. We live together. I hope that I'm negative as well.
And I was around. I was in close proximity with some people that didn't. And I wasn't like, I was responsible as you can be within the being around people. Like we weren't hugging and shit like that.
Right.
And I ended up not passing off to anybody, which is good. And I have a roommate out here who didn't get it, which is nice. So like, didn't pass on to anybody, and also no symptoms. So we got pretty lucky.
Yeah, and it was also strange that some of the people that we were with, that same you're frozen right now. I'm just gonna keep going. Maybe I'm frozen.
You're frozen as well.
Okay, we're both frozen. Well, some of the people that we were with that weekend did tested negative for it. You know what I mean? When like 3 or 4 or 5 tested positive, and then others didn't. And we were all very close to each other that weekend.
Some of us even grinded on each other.
Some of us were as close as you can get.
As very close, and did not contract it. So,
it's crazy.
But
I like to think that it's because I'm a positive person. You know what I mean?
Well,
that's why I came back positive.
You're positive. And then also I had 0 symptoms, I think, and battled it well because I'm in peak physical shape. So
100%. Yeah, that's what right away, actually, when you text us that, everybody that I was around said, well, yeah, basically an NFL athlete. So not worried about Mike. Yeah.
Never been healthier. Type O blood. Just they were posting about that today. Something about your blood type actually does have some type of impact. I don't know what.
Yeah, and so they'll say something else next month.
Yeah, that's the thing. Nobody knows anything.
Yeah, okay.
That's one thing I realized from actually having the disease is none of it makes sense. The people that I remember thinking, because I told everybody that I was around about it immediately, and like the people that I definitely thought, like, you got it for sure. If I had it, you had it. Didn't have it.
Right.
And so it just doesn't. It doesn't make sense.
Does not make a lot of sense at all. It's pretty frustrating.
And I'll tell you what, big inconvenience.
Huge.
Huge inconvenience. Did not leave the crib over. I think mine was like 11 days because I got my second test done.
Yeah, in California, you guys, well, you got the results like an hour later, right?
I got lucky. I went to a place
like 13 days to get a result.
But I know a bunch of people that did get tested out here in California and had to wait like 11 days, some of them. So I got super lucky. The place that I went to ended up, they were like, yeah, you can, I got tested. And then I was like, all right, so 3 to 5 days. And they were like, no, we'll give it to you in 30 minutes. I was like, what?
That makes no sense. Then that makes me not trust your test. Were you at Super Clips? Where were you? Where'd you go? Yeah. Did you ask some guy down the road? Like, hey, will you tell me if I am or not?
Yeah, exactly. You're going to run into a dude named Steve with a yellow poncho.
No, yeah, I don't have any actual results, but the guy told me I was good.
I'm the Burger King.
BK Lounge.
Would you like fries with that also? No, dude, it was super official. It was like everybody was like masked up. It was
I know.
It was a CVS one.
Yeah.
But it was kind of crazy. I agree. And then there's like false positives and false negatives too. Because I'll tell you what, I didn't feel bad at all. There might have been one day, I guess, like now that I'm thinking back on it, I was like, I guess I woke up hot. But like sometimes your boy wakes up hot.
All the time, bro.
It is July.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was weird. We had
maybe first week after the lake trip, I felt a little just like shitty, but I also like we went hard in the paint. Like I felt like hell anyways. Yeah. And then
it's like maybe you're violently hungover.
Yeah. But besides that, nothing. Like I never lost a sense of taste or smell.
Yeah.
I really never felt anything.
I had some friends out here. It was crazy that weekend. The people that were not even around us that weekend got it, and then it was like a wave. Obviously, everybody's that's been watching the news. A lot of people have gotten it over the past like month or month and a half, or whatever. But I know a bunch of people now that have had it over the last like 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah,
some of them can't smell still. So
that's crazy.
It's definitely real. I will say, it's a very, I don't know. It's such an American perspective, but I probably almost needed to get it to realize that it's a real thing.
Yeah.
That's how
well, I definitely
of a person
yeah.
I am.
I just remember, I mean, we went that weekend when you were coming in and everything. I was like, this is, yeah. Like when we were back at the house afterwards, I was like, this is reckless. This is too many people. You know what I mean? Like I know that we shouldn't have more than 10. I'm like, this is more than 10. So yeah, man, it was a reckless move on our part. Lesson learned, 100%.
Yeah. And then, yeah, it was tough. We definitely were as close to white colonialism as we've ever been that weekend. But when the power is within you, you just kind of
Jesus Christ.
You just kind of ride that wave. Decisions were made, regrets are there, but
I had fun that weekend though. That was fun.
That's like, I'll stand by that. That was probably one of the most, I feel bad because a lot of people are being responsible and not doing things like that, but I will stand by the fact that was one of the most fun weekends on record. I also think we always have fun. It's always your roommate Reddish's birthday.
What a weekend.
It's
turned into some pretty epic memories. Yeah.
Yeah. For a dude that doesn't really care about his birthday,
I found out it was his 30th birthday last year. We're watching I think like game 7 of like a hockey series or something.
Yeah.
When like a few beers in, and he's like, yeah, or someone called him and he's like, yeah, thanks, and hung up. He's like, I'm like, who's that? He's like, my mom. She was just saying happy birthday. I'm like, happy, it's your birthday. And he's like, yeah, it's my 30th birthday. Like, what? But I'm like a 16-year-old girl when it comes to birthdays. I got a whole week. I want to get crazy.
You go hard.
I'm a big birthday guy.
You've done whole weeks for sure.
Come on. How much fucking fun is my birthday?
What did
When's
we
the last
do
time you had a bad time?
This last time we
Beers
went
and bears, dude.
crazy.
Rode a camel. We had
Oh,
that
yeah.
dinner, went to
We went to the
Cashmere's.
zoo.
Yeah, came back, sang Boys to Men until 3 a.m.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a fun
That
evening.
was
There
a
were a few
reckless.
people that were, yeah, but there wasn't a global pandemic going on. But I remember this girl I worked with came in the next day and she was like, that was the most fun I've had in years. And I was like, well, that's the idea.
That's like a typical weekend. Sometimes us
That was
singing Boys to Men at 4 a.m. But
that'll happen, yeah.
usually, I think that's the level of like, how good was the weekend? Well, did you sing?
Did you end up back on that patio singing on Bended Knee?
Well, because this past Arizona trip that we're referencing, we definitely sang Boys to Men in the van coming back from the lake.
100%. And you played Elliott, if I remember. Wait for You
Elliott
came on. Maybe you didn't have control. I will never forget Elliott Yamin, Wait for You coming on though. That was very funny.
I don't think I did that one. That's a good. I don't know that song. Do I know that song?
I think you do. I'm not going to do it.
But I was also taking requests, so that could have been.
Okay, there we go.
A lot of Usher too, but there's some staples that you always stand by. But yeah, we were locked in. It was crazy because I was definitely like, I went from, obviously we were reckless as shit to like super cautious. I wasn't leaving the apartment for whatever until I could get a negative test. So I was posted up, and I don't know where you were, but I was on season 5 of Sopranos when it started, and it kind of timed out nicely. I did season 6, as we know, was a longer one, 2-parter.
Mm-hmm.
Really analyzed. I felt like I could sit with each episode a little bit more. I didn't feel rushed. And then that's one thing that I've realized. I've now watched Sopranos, Mad Men.
Yeah, you got to switch it up, man. This is getting ridiculous.
What do you mean? Watching the greatest television?
Watch a new show. Try something new.
Well, now I am. Now I'm watching Billions, and I watch Insecure. I'll sneak some stuff in there, but like,
all I'm saying is, it's personally, as your brother, I don't know how many times we've done just the classic. What are you doing? I'm watching Sopranos again. It's like, it's crazy.
I've never watched it all the way through.
Oh,
that's why I did it. I had watched it like.
I'm sorry, Mad Men.
Mad Men. I've now watched 2 times. Phenomenal. No
I'm
regrets.
not saying it's not phenomenal.
Well, this is what I was saying, is that I'm like watching them. I'm like, now I almost got to watch Breaking Bad, because I'm like, dude, what's better than this shit? Sopranos really impressed me this last time watching it. I was like, just I don't know. You just get older and you like appreciate the different aspects of shows, I think.
Oh, big time. Especially that one. I was young, very young when I watched that one.
It's really, and obviously now everything's like these different craziness, but at the end it's a family drama, and that also all started with Sopranos. But you're just watching and you're like, dude, this show, I don't know, it just stands up so well. It's very good.
Great show. Oh yeah.
Gandolfini, there will be scenes where he's like this calm person, and then he'll flip the fuck out, and then he'll come all the way back down, all in the same scene. It's crazy.
Incredible actor, yeah.
Incredible performance on that role, for sure.
Yeah, and from what I've heard, he's kind of a hippie type. He wasn't like that in real life.
Oh, really?
Of course, he could be tough and tumble, but it was a little bit more like a hippie, a little more free love.
But
he'll lean into that hangover. Like, he's so good at, he looks the part. He looks like Tony Soprano, and then, like, when he is hungover, he looks hungover. You know what I mean? He'll come up from that sink, looking in the mirror like, I look like shit.
But yeah, he's great. It's such a good show. And then you see the Matthew Weiner stuff with
Mad Men.
The Mad Men connection. I haven't come off Mad Men, but I don't know. I like watching like truly great television. Can be watched again and again, and in my opinion,
I was just giving you shit.
Oh, okay.
I think it's great. Yeah.
Are you watching something new?
Giving you shit. Um, no, I'm watching. Well, I am watching that documentary. I really like the one you put me on, Golden State Killer.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
Um,
good. You
really
all the way
good.
caught up?
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
That
I
dude was
ended up, I
fucked
couldn't
up.
sleep. I couldn't sleep the other night. That's been an issue. And I threw it on at like 2 in the morning or whatever, right in the middle of the night. And yeah, dude, there's some scenes in there where I was like, Jesus Christ, this is intense.
Well, he's creeping.
And the way that I like the way it's shot, where they have when they talk about him, they have the shadows from the trees, like come over a pool or come towards a house. I like the way that, because it feels like, yeah, it's got that creepy, eerie feeling.
It's unsettling, and
100%.
and then the fact that he got into killing later. That the
Taste of
craziness
blood.
is,
Taste of blood. Didn't he by
I
accident
don't,
kill somebody, or
I
not
don't
by
even.
accident, but things got out of control and he had to?
Well, I think he's yes, the power. I think is what he got obsessed with, but also like the fact that he like they would be like articles written like he's never killed anybody, and then the next one like he read an article that somebody was like he hasn't killed anybody,
He's basically, the
and then
papers
the
are basically
next
saying you won't though.
yeah
Yeah, but you won't. Yeah.
yeah it's like say I won't,
He hasn't killed. He
and
hasn't
then
killed
he
somebody. He won't
and
do
then
that.
he would kill the woman and not the man or something like that. It was another challenge, and he was like, or he never killed a man or something
Well,
like
one
that.
they had
And then he
never one
started
that
killing
they
couples. And then he started moving to couples.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And then, well, he missed out on the one. How about
Yeah,
the husband who was at the doctor's office and then spent almost his
yes,
entire life being under scrutiny, thinking that he had killed his wife.
crazy. That's I mean,
What an oops to doodly, right? What a like a
dude,
hey, sorry about that, Billy.
he wasn't vindicated till like 95 or something.
Never
That was
dated,
in
never
like
dated
80.
another person his entire life. Never, yeah,
Tough. And
yeah.
and if you were the homie, you'd always be like, he might, like, that's
Gee,
not
can
a
I see
thing.
that doctor's note? Yeah, can I see it though?
Or it's like
Did he
when you're
have somebody kill her?
when you're trying to maybe describe him to a new friend or something, it's like, well, Billy's coming. What's Billy's deal? Well, he
Is he
might have
married?
killed his wife.
He was married.
He's single.
Oh, divorced? What happened? No.
He could have killed her. He
I'll
possibly
let
killed
him.
her.
I'll let
I
him
don't think
tell
he
you.
did. You know what? I'm going to let him tell you.
Billy.
Yeah, I don't want to paraphrase. So,
But I was watching that. What else did I watch?
it's
Well,
also crazy that woman figured that, like, that's how that shit got solved. Is what's her name, Michelle?
yeah,
Just caring enough.
yeah.
Crazy.
And we
But
know the end of that. She didn't get to see all the way through,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is crazy. To put it in like life's work, and then you don't get to see it through. It's tough.
it's nuts.
I've been watching concerts. I've been watching like whole
Full
concerts.
concerts.
I
Sure.
like. I love music. I love live music, especially. So there's websites. There's just like lists you can look up of like best live
Yeah.
show of your favorite
People
band.
rank
So I've
them.
watched a few of those, and then roommate is rewatching Mad Men. So I've jumped in onto the seat on a few of those.
Get in there.
No, it's great.
The greatest character. What would you even call it? Like, just like the character development of the
Character arc.
all the character arcs. Yeah, but like character exploration show of all time. Every character has these. Like, there's 10 characters that you could be like, wow, that's a crazy arc, and they did all this writing with
Oh yeah.
each character. It's nutty. Great show. But yeah, that's exciting. I'm on Billions.
Billions, nice. I've not seen Billions.
Crushed Billions.
Is
I
it good?
crushed. It's very easy to crush. It's like super. Yeah, it's super drama. Every episode, you're like, it's great. It's juicy drama. Like, you could actually zone out for like 10 minutes, and then you zone back in for 5 minutes. And you're like, oh, we fucking hate that guy. That dude's gonna fuck him over. And like, it's super easy to just like kind of
Oh,
keep
that's
up
good
with
because
it.
I get lost. As you know, I'm ADD.
Y-
So then I'll be like, I gotta like rewind and watch the whole thing again.
You can zone out for like 10, 15 minutes, and like still like right when you're back in, you're like, fuck that dude. Definitely, we know that that's gonna happen and all this shit.
I cannot do that. If I like a show, I gotta like put the phone down. I gotta really pay attention. But
I mean,
that's my issue, I guess.
yeah,
But
Twitter's popping sometimes, but
yeah, I'm not on Twitter.
you're missing some good humor. But also, I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, I've been living my life the whole time. I haven't really. There's not been 1 second I missed it.
I will say
I was on there for a while. I was on there for a few years.
If anything ever happens, I always just go to Twitter just to see what's happening. It's a very quick way to like be like, what the fuck's going on? But also, you can get caught up in some nonsense. That is for sure.
Sure, yeah.
It's the low point of human beings, but also it's got some good shit. But yeah, Billions is good. I'm all the way through season 4. It's like because we both like Succession quite a bit.
Yeah, I love that.
And I remember people were like, well, if you like that, you should watch Billions. And in my mind, I was always like, well, I don't need two wealthy. I just felt like it was redundant, not redundant, completely different, super different type of drama bullshit. And it's just great. Paul Giamatti.
I'll give it a shot.
Bobby Axelrod is the
We'll
fucking
give it the
man.
old fucking college try.
Yeah. And then I think they're ending. You know who's in it from Mad Men is the Jewish fashion store owner.
Oh no.
What's her name?
I forget her name. I know you're talking about the early seasons.
From like season 1 or 2.
Yeah.
That he bangs. She's in it and she's great. She's got a good big role.
I just saw this scene in Mad Men where I think it's season 5 where he gets on the elevator with his second wife Megan, and he like tells her to go. He's sick or something, so she goes to the other side of the elevator, and the elevator doors open up, and one of the girls from his past comes on, and she's like, "Oh, Don, what's up?" Like, obviously thinking this is not his wife, and saying the elevator doors are closing. She's extremely flirtatious, and he's just like, "This is my wife, Megan."
But do you remember what happens in that episode?
No, I walked out after that and had to go.
He kills
take
that
a phone
one.
Call. Kills her.
That's the crazy episode. So he's having like he's got the flu or something.
Yeah.
And it's one of those. That's again why that show's kind of crazy. It's heavy symbolism sometimes, and you don't know if it's real or not. It's almost positively not real because he would have probably gone to jail or like got investigated. But
and like a flu dream and like a fever dream.
It's a fever dream. I think the episode's called Fever Dream, and he ends up killing her, throwing her under the bed, and it symbolizes him trying to be a good man and put his past behind him and be faithful to Megan. Spoiler alert.
He fails.
Don Draper is throwing that D around all 7 seasons.
Donnie D. Jesus, yeah, he is a real piece of shit.
He's flawed.
But aren't we all? Yeah, exactly.
He's a flawed man, but honestly, morally, when he like how he treats Peggy, he treats her pretty poorly there. But
he's a piece of shit, man. I think that's part of it. That he's a piece of shit. He's not a good person. Lies to everybody he loves, takes advantage of everybody he knows. But at the end, he maybe finds some peace within himself. It seems to. But he is a piece of shit guy.
But by finding peace within himself, he profits.
Yeah.
Also, it's great. Show's great. Pete Campbell, all he wants to do is be Don Draper. But by the end, he realizes he should just move to Oklahoma and love his wife.
Yeah, become a man.
But I've been watching. I did Billions. I've been revisiting Atlanta, which is super easy. It's like 25-minute episodes.
What's that on?
It's on Hulu.
Nice.
And then
speaking of Hulu, real quick, someone sent me it's like a girl I haven't talked to in forever sent me a video on Instagram. Like I haven't talked to this person in forever. And I'm like, what is going on here? So I open it.
What's forever? Like years?
8 years. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Long time. So I open it and it's like she's scrolling in on this TV screen in her room, and it shows this description of a TV show that says John Turner, JT in quotations mark. John Turner is the main character of the show. I'm like, what is going on?
So his nickname is JT.
It's JT. It's not even just John Turner.
Hilarious.
It's John JT Turner. And so I'm like, I got to check this out. And so Shue's like, it's this movie sucks, but I saw this and thought of you. And so I watched it a little bit, and it is
What's
so
it called?
strange. It's called Boomtown. It's about basically a dude. I think
Sounds bad.
the description's amazing. Hang on one second. Let me get it in front of me.
What's a boomtown? Is it like in? Is
It's
he
like
in
It's an oil
It's
town.
an oil town. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
okay.
struggling. This could be how it ends up for me, actually. Struggling to make ends meet, John J.T. Turner leaves his young family behind to pursue a grueling yet highly coveted job in a booming oil town.
That's amazing.
So
That's
I
it?
pressed play. That's the description. And first of all, I got a 5 out of 10 rating.
Which is never good.
I don't even know who plays the name of the guy. I've never heard of the guy who plays John Turner. But they couldn't get me. No one asked me. But
No.
he's a trash guy. He married with a kid, and and they can't make any money where he's living, so he takes a job in North Dakota at this trying to get on this oil rig that apparently can make a ton of money, take care of your family.
Yeah.
And
Who would?
he's up there cheating on his girl, the whole thing. It's a bad movie. Didn't even finish all the way through, but it was it was very weird to hear your name, and people. It was just so strange to watch a movie where people are like, every time I answered the phone, they're like, "What's up, JT?" I'm like, "This is just weird." It was weird.
There was 10 years where every fantasy draft I was in, people were like, "Are you going to draft Michael Turner?"
You have to.
And I never did. Only 1 year. Only
He was
one
good.
year I did.
He was a good fantasy
It was
player.
actually. Oh yeah, he was like top. I usually didn't get him because he was like top. Top 5 for a little bit. But I got him 1 year, and it was like it actually happened to be one of his best years, that first or second year in Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
But either way, that was weird. It's my name was on ESPN for
The Burner.
a decade.
Yeah, you guys. I remember when they beat. He was in the Chargers when they beat the Colts. The Colts always lost to the Chargers in like the playoffs or in like a last game of the season type situation. Yeah. I remember he had like a 90-yard run.
Our cousin James remembers.
Michael the Burner Turner. Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's always weird. That's a tough.
It was very weird.
You were also a character in. Oh no! It wasn't John Turner, but John from Cincinnati is also a show.
TV show, yeah.
Which
I remember that.
I forget why that was such a hyped show. Remember how?
Well, it came on. It came on right after
Sopranos.
Yeah. So it was like in the spot to be the next show, and it was not.
No, it was not. What else did I do? I did a lot of movies. I was doing I did Mission Impossible 4 recently. Whoa, that is a
recently. Again, these are
good film.
You do it all the time.
I haven't seen
it recently.
I haven't seen that one in a long time.
If we listen to a podcast 3 podcasts ago, I guarantee Mission Impossible.
I stand by all of the films. I haven't seen 4 in a long time, in about 5 or 6 years. But what else have I been? I've been kind of just like trying to. Like, there's some good stuff out right now on like Netflix and stuff. Like I did Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Great.
Or no, not Raiders of the Lost Ark. I did Holy Grail.
Oh, love that one.
The Last Crusade. Is that what that one's called?
Father and Son, yeah.
That was very good. And then River Phoenix was in it.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that. I was like, oh, shit, that is River Phoenix. And then, and I also watched that Showbiz Kids.
I watched that last night.
That was pretty sad but good. It was good.
It'd be an interesting life to live when you really break it down.
When you
being famous at that age.
Well, also like the idea of that's one thing I never think of is like they have a job at 6 or 7.
I like that therapist in there breaks it down pretty well, where she's like, this is a part of your life where you don't have to worry. You shouldn't be worried about bills, and you shouldn't be worried about these things that adults. Be a child. Take advantage of this innocence of this time in your life, and it was taken away.
Yeah, that was intense. I didn't know. I always wondered where I knew Evan Rachel Wood from too. I didn't know that.
Big vibe.
She'd been doing shit that long, and then and they covered. Did they cover River Phoenix a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what I did after.
Well, they covered Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton, that's right.
But He's in Stand By Me.
And then I'm watching Stand By Me tonight, actually.
And I just did a rewatchables. I listened to it last night.
Yeah.
Really good.
That's what inspired me to watch it, because I was like, I haven't sat down and watched that in years.
I remember thinking that Lollipop song was the coolest thing I'd ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, wait, did he do the thing? We were at the same age when we saw that. We were at that age. And I was like, this is the coolest movie I've ever seen. Like, can we walk down? That's why we would try and go into, let's go out in the woods. Let's get lost out there.
Yeah.
Inspired by
we did that.
Inspired by Stand By Me.
One time. It was bad. Stand By Me. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. I've been trying to just hit some old like classics I haven't seen in a while, or maybe had never seen. But
speaking of classics, I watched The Karate Kid last night or 2 nights ago.
Good.
It's super 80s, but it's so, once you get past that and you're just like, all right, this was made in 84, and it's so hokey and so corny and so like, yeah, give it to him, man. Yeah. All that shit. Great movie. Miyagi's so wise, and he doesn't know how to get the girl. It's classic stuff.
And then you
watch Elizabeth Shue. Hello.
And I'm assuming the one with Jaden Smith is the one you're watching.
Right. Obviously. Is there a different one?
No.
But yeah.
Oh, Elizabeth Shue. I love Elizabeth Shue.
She's the love interest. I didn't remember that was her. Allie with an eye.
I haven't watched that movie since I was a kid.
Give it a shot. It's good. And sweep the leg, the whole thing. It's intense.
Yeah. That's good. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll revisit that. I did a new movie though that you'd said was good, was Ford versus Ferrari. That was solid.
Oh yeah. I like that a lot.
Good Matt Damon.
And then you wonder why you were even thinking that would happen. Matt Damon and Christian Bale. Let's go.
Well, did you know that it was supposed to be TC and Brad Pitt?
Oof, really?
But they couldn't do it. I don't know what it was, like scheduling or something. And then
that would have been huge.
Oh my God.
It's still really good, but that would be wild.
It's so good. It is good. But yeah, because honestly, Matt Damon and Christian Bale are right at the same level.
Actually, to TC, I heard of somebody breaking down things they wouldn't do for a certain amount of money. I think it was $250,000. And the guy was like, you know what I wouldn't do? I wouldn't get on the side of the plane like Tom Cruise did in that Mission Impossible movie for $250,000. Wouldn't do it. It's true. I think I'd do it for $250K.
Now he had some stuff strapped to him, but like
right, still that's intense.
Dude, he flew a helicopter. He flew that.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me as much as that's wild. You can learn how to fly a helicopter.
He did the thing with they go zero gravity and like do the loops and stuff, and then he had to turn the engine back on in the fucking canyon. This is insane. He learned how to fly a fighter jet for Top Gun 2.
Yeah, these are things you can learn though. I wouldn't trust the that'd be wild to flying on the outside of a plane, taking off from the runway. That's fucking crazy.
No, I agree with that. Have you seen well, obviously you've seen Fallout, Mission Impossible 6.
Big time.
One of my favorite films of all time, as you know, well documented, but they have a good YouTube thing about how they did that shot where him and Henry Cavill jump out of the plane into the lightning storm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because they had to shoot that like in a 20-minute window because how the sun is laid out in that. So they did it like 4 days in a row.
At the same time?
It's crazy. And they had like an hour.
Well, that's why we trust TC. He takes these things seriously.
He's the greatest. I watched.
He is the greatest.
He is the greatest action movie.
He is the greatest.
He really is. I have watched the most movies by an actor that I've watched through this whole thing is definitely Denzel 1. I've probably watched 11. I think the count is like 11 Denzel movies. And then TC's 2. I've watched quite a few Tom Cruise films.
Oh yeah.
And no regrets. Revisiting old Denzel is great. Did Malcolm X. I want to do Flight probably this week. I'm going to do Hurricane also. Just, what an actor. phenomenal. But what else? Oh, and I've been also revisiting old music too. I'm going 60s and 70s. You've been doing that? Are you there, John?
Yes.
Um,
Sorry about that.
you hear me?
Yeah, my power went out. Or I had an earthquake or something.
Your power went out?
No.
My
I was
power
saying,
went
I was repeating what you said earlier.
out. I've been doing because I think we're both listening to the podcast Rivals where they're just breaking down like old music rivals.
Oh, yeah. Really good stuff.
And so then what I've been doing is listening and then just diving.
I've had to stop the podcast a few times because I'm just like, oh, damn, I haven't heard that song forever. And when they're breaking it down, you're like, I really want to hear it right now.
So I've been doing that with specifically with I did it first with Fleetwood Mac and then with the Beach Boys. And
Beach Boys one was really good.
Beach Boys one was really good because you know a little bit about it. I'd never I seen that movie, the one with Paul Dano, and then just like kind of hearing things about how crazy Brian Wilson is. But I've been listening to Pet Sounds for the past like 2 weeks.
Perfect album.
Well, I'm on the beach a lot. I don't know if you've seen my tan, but
can't even hear you over it.
Yeah. So I'm been really getting tan.
Humble. That was the word I would. I wish our dad was around for some of these Instagram posts. They were always fun it was always fun to give him a call and say, what does he think he's doing out there?
What the fuck is your brother doing?
What is he doing? Who does he think he is?
You got to have that confidence.
Hey, dude, I'm preaching to the choir. I'm only giving you shit. It's what an older brother does.
This is as tan as I've ever been.
You look tan. You look good. In that post, you did. You look like a golden brown. But the Turners, we have that in us to get there. If you put the time in, you don't want you.
Oh, there goes John. We're losing him again. I think his power went out. I will say, John, you in the past have gotten as tan as I've ever seen. I remember the best tan you ever had was when you had 50% of your body tan and the whitest back that I've ever seen in my life.
I'm sorry. I was I couldn't hear you for a second there, but I did catch on at the end there. I have learned to toast both sides. But in the beginning, I just wasn't really worried about it.
Used to call you the silverback gorilla. You had the whitest back I'd ever seen.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm worried about it now. When I first moved to Arizona, I was at the pool like 5 days a week and just like out there for like main hours and just like stupid tan, but also just stupid to be out there in the sun that much. So it's harder to get a tan these days because I get all in my head about fucking skin cancer.
Well, I don't know how we got the skill set to tan. Our father was very tan. Mm-hmm. So tan that he told me
he was a lazy man.
he would take lunch breaks and go to the Montgomery pool for an hour.
Think about that.
Sit there till he broke a sweat, jump in the pool, dry off, break one more sweat, jump in the pool, dry off, take that.
Yeah, that's how you get tan.
I remember one time he went in the pool and he said he cleared the area, thought everything was fine, and he was in the shallow end where when you stood up, your waistline with the pool, and he had stood up and checked the surroundings and it was clear to go, and he ripped one of the gnarliest farts that he'd ever ripped, and he then heard something behind him, turned around and saw an 8-year-old that would forever be scarred.
What a lunch break. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he would rip them. But we have that tanning skill from him. He was so tan. I remember he told me that he was part Cherokee, and I never questioned it. And he is most certainly not.
He's English, German.
Yeah. but that's how
Irish.
Dark you get.
Yeah, he really could get pretty dark.
But I've been catching these tans, hitting the beach. I've been you know where I'm at? I'm beach running, no shoes. I'm that guy now, on the sand, feet in the sand,
That's great.
and then I'll jump in the ocean. But I say that to say, Pet Sounds, Beach Boys.
Meets up. Yeah. That's what
I mean, you're just running on the beach listening to Good Vibrations. Are you
yeah. You
kidding
Still
me?
Believe in Me. What a great
Yeah,
song that is.
yeah, that's a good one. Hold On to Your Ego really is good. That's Not Me.
Oh yeah.
And they're all
Dude,
like two and a
it's a
half minute songs.
perfect album. It's a really, really good album.
That's so I'd listened to it before because I remember you were obsessed with it in high school. I think you
Yeah.
liked
I
it,
love the Beach Boys.
and Dad was obviously a big, huge Beach Boys guy, and I'd never I'd listened to them like I know all the songs, but I don't think I ever like cohesively listened as an album. That's a perfect
It's a
pop
perfect
album.
album. Yeah. It's like you said, the quick songs, simple. They're not overthinking anything, and everything's used correctly.
But also they were overthink. I think his lyrics were crazy. Like nobody was talking about stuff like that at that point.
Right. Ahead of its time for sure. I mean, the
'Cause-
Beatles were like everybody in that scene, in that California scene, all over the world were like, whoa, these
yeah.
guys, what is this? We got to match this.
So I did that. I did Pet Sounds heavy, and then I started diving into the Beatles is the other one that I've been listening to a lot.
I haven't listened to those ones yet. I'm gonna. Who are they? They came after the Monkees, right?
Yes.
Inspired by the Monkees.
Well, we growing up, we had Revolver. Was Dad bought that album? I remember.
From my recollection is Rubber Soul was the first
Or
one.
Rubber Soul. You're right. Not Revolver. It was Rubber Soul.
with
Strawberry
Norwegian
Fields.
Wood, Nowhere
Norwegian
Man,
Wood. Yep.
Drive My Car.
Baby, you can drive my car. Which is a hitter. That's a hitter.
Can't beat
That's how they start the album.
Oh yeah, dude, it's great.
So I've been doing that too because I just listened to Rubber Soul the other day, all the way through, and then I listened.
I remember that was also the Animaniacs would talk like that
John
from
and
London.
Paul.
Would talk like John and Paul.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember you're too young to understand that what satire is or what parody, what they're making fun of. And I'm like, oh, these guys were the Beatles, the Animaniacs, like, so they did the same voices. And Dad's like, no, you're an idiot. They're making fun of. Yeah, I didn't get it.
Yeah,
but I was 8. How are you supposed to get it?
Yeah, Dad was he wasn't wrong. We were idiots.
No, but he forgot. He just forgot that we were 8. This is our first time hearing the Beatles. I wasn't alive when you were alive.
So funny. But yeah, that's been nice. Hitting some old Beatles stuff has been good. I forget the other one I was listening to. I was doing Rubber Soul, and then I did maybe Abbey Road. I forget. Oh, no. I did Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club.
And that was their answer to the Pet Sounds.
Oh,
so
was
Pet
it?
Sounds came out in 1966, and the Beatles heard Pet Sounds, and they were like, goo, what is this?
Yeah.
Never really said that in an interview, but it's been understood that they heard that album and said, we got to step our shit up. And they definitely did.
It's crazy that Pet Sounds, it's insane listening to other Beach Boys albums and then listening to Pet Sounds.
Yeah, they just blew it out of the way. And I think they talk about it in the podcast where he had like sand in his living room. He filled his living room with sand and then just put a piano in there to write. Like, and that's just process. That's artist process. Of course that's a weird thing to ask for, but they were like, let's not get in his way. If you want sand in the living room, put it in there.
Well, and then I was reading about Pet Sounds, and I guess when they released it, the first song they released, I forget what it was, but he released it as a Brian Wilson solo song because that album was actually just all Brian Wilson stuff.
Right.
So it was almost like he clearly wanted them to know like this is all Brian Wilson shit. But
I get it. If you put that much work into it, wouldn't you want the credit?
Oh, 100%. Dude, also, I think Good Vibrations wasn't even that's the most insane thing about that album. This is how good Pet Sounds is. Good Vibrations was a Lucy. Good Vibrations is not on Pet Sounds.
That's awesome.
It's a single that they released that didn't make the album.
Killing it.
That's nuts.
Creative peak. Yeah, that sucks that he lost it so much because what a genius.
Yeah, there's some stuff on. There's an album, the Smile Sessions. I was hitting up to. Was
Heroes and Villains. Love that song.
the last? The Brian Wilson Lost album or whatever. So that's
Well,
been.
dude, I was obsessed with them to the point that we went and saw them in Boston or in Long Island, or I think it was Boston actually, but like a summer little festival. Went and saw the Beach Boys when I was like one of my first concerts. I was like 11 or something. I was
Mike
obsessed.
Love?
No, Mike Love, Brian Johnston, and two of the Wilsons were there. One was dead already.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
It was cool. It's one of those bands where, I think a lot of people know all the songs, but that album, man, you've always preached that, but I had never touch it.
Pet Sounds is awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that's been good. But yeah, I've been trying to do that because I think sometimes I always want to dive into the old music, and there's more time than ever to just do it. So I've just been trying to do that as much as I can.
I just like to put myself in that time and try to transport yourself to like what it would be like to, especially they just had radio back then, right? It wasn't the options that we had. Like you didn't know, of course you might hear an album's coming out, but all of a sudden here's the new track from the Beach Boys. Good Vibrations comes on the radio for the first time, and you're driving to the beach and you're like, this is fucking,
what the fuck?
But it's the norm. That's what's cool about it to me is like that's what's on the radio. So what's on the radio now is trash. And they had some really good, like even like the B level Beach Boy type bands. They were good. They were just good songs, good music out.
Well, now it's such an industry. Now music is such an industry that people who control what is getting played is just horrible people with bad taste.
Isn't that rule number 4080?
Record company people are shady.
Shady.
So kids watch your back because I think they smoke crack. I don't doubt it. Look at how they act.
Yeah.
But that is wildly unfortunate. Yeah, because back then it was a little bit more pure, and also that they didn't have that many options. These are the songs that are being made. Put these on the fucking radio.
What you could do, and you also had to go do those things. You had to go to LA, go to New York. That's where they're making the music. Go to it. You have to. Now you can make it in your basement, put it up on YouTube. It's a different time. Not to say I just find it so much more. It would have been a really cool time to be alive in that music era.
Oh, it's nuts.
In the 60s, 70s would be crazy.
I always think about, like, I was listening to Sgt. Pepper, and I was like, imagine putting that on for the first time, that album vinyl, and being like, what the fuck?
Oh, you know what I watched that you should watch? Reminds me. If you haven't seen it, Echo in the Canyon's really good.
I can't. I tried to get it and I couldn't get it.
Oh, I think it's on Netflix. And then it's on Amazon Prime. This one for sure. It's called Laurel Canyon.
Or Laurel Canyon's what I looked up, and I couldn't get it on Amazon Prime.
I'll try and I might have something you don't. I don't know, but really good. And there was a moment where they were talking about when Crosby, Stills, and Nash, their first album came out, and they all lived down the street from each other, and they all lived like in this canyon. And them talking about how you would just walk into every single person's house that you walked into, the album was on. It was just on everywhere you went, in every car. And like, that would just be such a cool little thing. And it's these guys up the road, you know what I mean? And just like, it was like everybody had that album.
Yeah.
They say there was Stevie Wonder with when Songs in the Key of Life came out, that literally every household you went into.
That's an amazing album. Yeah. That album is special.
They don't make albums anymore.
Yeah, it's tough. That's why I always adamantly defend like a Kanye West. Like he does he puts effort into making epic albums, and people don't typically do that like that anymore.
He's got my vote.
Huh? He's got
my vote.
Yeah, I agree. West 2020. He's definitely working on an album. If he's talking about
anytime he does all this stuff,
we got
something else is coming. Yeah, he's running for something. He's running from something.
It's gonna be good. He's dropped 2 tracks. The one called Donda the other day was really
Yeah.
good.
Weird, I thought.
I'm excited. Yo, you didn't like it with his mother?
No, it wasn't my favorite Kanye.
I loved it. I loved his lyrics. Deep stuff. He's out there thinking again. But either way, yeah, we're both COVID free.
Yes.
This is important. We're back at it.
Feeling good. We missed you. A little weird time there. And just want to say, yeah, stay safe. We were reckless, and that's what
Don't
happened.
go on boats. we made this sacrifice so you guys didn't have to.
But it's real, and it really was. That was stressful. It still is stressful. It was a weird feeling to have the disease that is the global pandemic, even if it was asymptomatic, and just a weird feeling.
I'm just proud to say I survived Corona. I have my plasma has never been more desired, and I now have antibodies. So this is as close as I've ever been to a superhero, I think. So it's kind of exciting. But silver lining. That's all I'm always looking for.
Yeah. Stay safe out there.
Yeah, be good out there. God bless. Go listen to Pet Sounds by the beach.
Yes. You still believe in me. All right, man. Peace out.
All right, love you, brother. A-Town down.